Max Weber was one of the influential German sociologists who examined and documented the development of the modern era. While Marx's analysis of capitalism was based on its emergence in England, Weber found it in the United States. Both Marx and Weber analyzed the impact of capitalism on modernity, but Marx provided a historical and economic analysis, while Weber focused more on sociological aspects. According to Weber, modernization is a process of rationalization. This refers to the differentiation of activities based on particular contexts, including their instrumental goals or requirements and their efficiency and productivity. He presented this argument in his book, The Protestant Ethic and the Spirit of Capitalism from 1904 to 1905, where he stated that capitalism in the 18th and 19th centuries evolved and prospered in Protestant countries. Weber believed that Calvinism was the driving force behind its global success, drawing inspiration from God's commandments. In contrast, Catholic countries with distinct traditions showed no indication that wealth had spiritual significance. To conceptually demonstrate rationalization, let's consider the condition of a traditional village where agricultural and hunter-gathering activities are combined. Assume there is an irrigation system for farming. Whenever the seasons change, rituals are performed during the irrigation of specific crops, led by a higher-ranking religious figure. From the participants' perspective, these activities like irrigation and religious rituals are interconnected parts of a unified whole. Now, let's imagine someone proposing a practical irrigation method that necessitates abandoning the old tradition. This introduces the idea that the sole purpose of religious activities is to enhance crop growth and no longer has any connection to people's relationship with God or each other. As a result, a part of the unified whole is detached to adapt to practical changes, and the departure from tradition becomes necessary for the work to be effective. Therefore, rationalization takes place. Furthermore, Weber presents another related argument regarding Protestantism as a modern invention in the 15th and 16th centuries and a reaction to Roman Catholicism. According to him, it gave rise to an inner worldly asceticism or sacrificing oneself for God in the spirit of rational productivity on earth. Protestantism turns religious practice into a practical pursuit of wealth, extending worship to capitalist production beyond churches. Thus, for Weber, Protestant ethics were groundbreaking as they viewed work as inherently good, unlike traditional societies where work was seen as necessary but not intrinsically valuable. Hence, this asceticism found in Protestantism posits that being morally good and pleasing to God involves entering the office in the morning, working hard, and generating more wealth while refraining from spending and consuming excessively, as it is considered selfish and indulgent. Consequently, increased production and hard work signify receiving more divine love. Thus, this form of asceticism is not otherworldly or focused on the afterlife, but rather innerworldly, centered on our own world. Over time, religious motivation declined in the 19th and 20th centuries, leading to increased personal control driven by accumulation without any religious or societal meaning. Modern life's activities were thus divided into religious, cultural, and traditional influences, but to efficiently accept activities for greater productivity and less expenditure. They had to be detached from complex societal connections and focus solely on the activities themselves along with their practical changes. Consequently, in modernity, the authority shifted from charismatic and traditional to bureaucratic. According to Weber, modern society requires bureaucratic authority to maintain individual characteristics or qualities. For Weber, equality found in modern life necessitates various types of institutions to function. To treat others equally, we need to organize society bureaucratically because we have no other choice. In his book, Science as a Vocation, Weber presented an interesting argument. Rather than considering the secular nature of modern times as an issue, he accepted it as a fact. Instead of being led by a religious tradition, we are under instrumental rationality, or bureaucracy. Instrumental rationality refers to rationality used to streamline tasks from point A to point B. For instance, if you are hungry and you don't go to the store to buy food, but lie down and use your cell phone, it is not rational because it didn't achieve the goal. Therefore, rationality and bureaucracy have become the means in our modern capitalist and scientific society. Here, Weber presents an argument that human values or people's preferences are polytheistic, or can be described as value polytheism. It means that there is no way to unify the higher meanings, goals, or ultimate purposes of life since they compete with each other, and we can only choose which ones we prefer. In other words, we have many options. Whether we want to become a social media influencer, a famous politician, a devout follower of religion, wealthy, attractive, and so on. If we want to achieve these goals, we simply have to choose, and they cannot be unified. Weber provided an interesting example based on his experiences in the United States. He compared the German student to an American student. In Weber's story, the American student knew less compared to the German student. Besides the quality of education in Germany, it was because the German student believed that his professor aimed to teach a meaningful Weltanschauung, or worldview. The German student said to the professor, "Professor, you are so capable and hold a high position in society compared to me. Please help me understand your worldview and give me enough perspective to attain this wisdom." Thus, it can be said that the German student highly valued education. On the other hand, the American student said to his professor, "Sell me your knowledge for my dad's money, like buying vegetables." In this story, the American student was pragmatic, desiring only the techniques and information that would help him graduate and earn a lot of money. Here, we see that the German student valued education, while the American student did not. However, according to Weber, the American student was anti-authoritarian because he did not look up to the teacher as someone who could dictate or tell him how to live his life, while the German student directly asked the professor how to live his life. Therefore, the German student, as an individual, is not free compared to the American student, who in fact will learn less because he limits his knowledge acquisition from the professor. Furthermore, according to Weber, progress does not necessarily provide higher meaning. Instead, it destroys meaning. Scientists, athletes, or architects know that those who will come after them in the future can either destroy or improve their accomplishments. If you build a beautiful building that is highly favored, It may be destroyed in the future because people prefer something else. Thus, according to Weber, the rational, scientific, and economic response, individuality, quality, and material progress as characteristics of modern society come with a cost. And according to Weber, the cost is none other than alienation. Weberian sociologist Peter Berger gave meaning to freedom and equality as a permanent identity crisis, the lack of a fixed position in society leading to a loss of identity. In the medieval era, even as a peasant without freedom, there was no doubt about one's identity. But now, you can go anywhere, have various jobs, move countries, etc. Thus, freedom means or comes with an identity crisis. Therefore, the combination of instrumental rationality and streamlining processes without the influence of Protestantism, Weber likened these to living in an iron cage. He described us as specialists without spirit, sensualists without heart. This nutility imagines that it has attained a level of civilization never before achieved. So, what can we do? Weber gave us two options: to live freely but with alienation, or to return to the embrace of the church. Here, Weber taught that modern society or postmodernism experiences fragmentation as it progresses. While progress may have its benefits, it also brings burdens. As society advances, its problems deepen. Therefore, the optimism of Hegelianism, envisioning the ultimate reconciliation of fragmented things towards unity, is, for Weber, nothing more than a utopian dream.